Check, 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 check. Testing, check, 1, 2. Check, check, check. Check, testing, check, 1, 2. Check, 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 check. Testing, check, 1, 2. Okay. Sounds like we good. What's up? What's up, everybody? Hope you all are doing well today. Back with another live stream here. Let's oops. All right. Let's get it. Hope you all are doing well today. Give me 1 second while I fix something real quick. Let me see if I can it'll let me here. I don't know if it will. Hold on, let me see. Apologies. Let me see if this will. Maybe it will. I just need to. There we go. There we go. And I'll just save it. Bang. That's in. Excuse me. Like I'm here, I just want to make sure that everything is set up appropriately for the stream. Don't want to waste up. Says it didn't change. I don't know what's going on. All right, we're good. We're good. But all right, we are in here. We are live. We are here. Let's hope for the best. We're trying not to stress. Hope y'all doing well today on this last Tuesday of January 27th, 2026. We had like a sort of bit of a downtick when it's pertaining to what I posted on my Discord, what I shared with the live, here on the live stream and all of that. So the hope is that we will hopefully bounce back tonight. And usually a lot of times Tuesdays are one of the worst betting nights to bet, which includes an NBA, but the hope is that we will still find some specific things to cash on. Like I've been mentioning more recently, that the unders have been hitting for the NBA in the month of January. Will that switch to the month of February? Who knows? Again, it's going to be a short month. Why? Because the All-Star break is not that far away. So there's that. But, with the slates that have been happening, it's been more 7, 8 game days, 9 game days, stuff like that. I'll gladly take it because there's still more stuff to work with. Apologies for starting off super late, with the first game starting literally just roughly about 45 minutes from now, maybe 50 minutes from now, but we're going to just work with what we got. I am leaning towards a specific pick for the first game. I do have a parlay together that I'm going to share in a moment as well. But I did say on the stream yesterday, 3 specific spots. Lakers team total points under, they went over. Blazers team total points under because Denny Abdia wasn't playing. That went under, and I took that on a live bet here on the channel, that cash. And then I did also really felt like I should have taken the Orlando Magic team total points under. I didn't do that. Knew I should have done it, and they went under. What can you do? With a round robin, just those three together would have cashed on a nice little slip on a round robin 3-leg. So tonight, kind of feel like we could possibly fade a couple of team total points tonight. Brooklyn, that's for sure. Maybe possible, maybe. I'm really feeling like I want to take the Blazers team total points over. Really feeling that. We'll talk about that in a moment. Philly, Bucks, Giannis is not in. The question becomes, what is Philly's defense going to do against this Giannis-less team here for the Milwaukee Bucks? That's the question at hand. Can they score above their team total points on the road against Philly? That's the question at hand. But with enough of my rambling, let's dive into this first game here. As always, I use Moneyballer for a lot of my analytical stuff. Let's dive into the analytics of this game. Try to be quick with this first game. Put the pick in, and let's move forward from there. Because again, this is the first game. Is going to be starting very shortly. Let's dive into tonight. So the Blazers are on the second game of a back-to-back. Their fourth game in the last 6 nights. The Wizards are on a rest. They've been on a couple of games now currently, so they possibly have an advantage here. But when it's pertaining to the spread, it's 6.5. It was 7.5 hours ago. 233.5. I want to say this probably maybe possibly dipped down a little bit. Is Denny in? He's officially in now. Like I said last night, with Denny out, take their team total points under. The question becomes, with Denny in, do you consider taking their team total points? Now I should have taken them. Yeah, I should have taken that number when I looked at it earlier. This was roughly about an hour ago. It was 105.5. It is now officially dipped up to excuse me. No, I apologize. It's not the Blazers. It's another team. Another team that's 105.5. I kind of feel like I need to take them. I think it's the Kings. But we'll talk about that. But this is what the Blazers are doing with their team total points. So should you take the Blazers on the team total points tonight? That's the question at hand. What do you do with this spot? Because the Wizards specifically, when you're looking at just on outlier, we're not talking about the actual all around analytical stuff. It's what do you do with the team total points? What do you do with the total? What do you do with the spread, right? Do you take Portland to score and win? Excuse me. Do you take them to win, not score, but win? Beat the Wizards on the road here tonight by 7 points. That's the question that you want to consider. But look at what Washington is doing when it's pertaining to allowing teams to score on them at Washington. Look at this. They are specifically, when stopping a team from scoring 120 points on them at Washington, this is what they're doing. If you're looking to fade Portland on that 120, you would say Washington are 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, 6-2, 7-2 to stopping a team from scoring 120 points at home. That lets you know that with the data in front of you and what Portland's doing specifically, with the team being down the way they are with all of these injuries, I would be remiss in saying that you should fade the Blazers tonight. Because again, Washington is actually playing some defense, or more importantly, the teams that they've faced have been down with injuries for most of this list here when it's pertaining to the last many games. So I would say take Portland for the under 120 and, hope that they don't get the 120. Again, the books currently believe that one of the things is books believe that they're currently not going to get it at the 120. They believe that they're going to actually go under 120 to the 121 and the 122. So the sweet spot is the middle part. Why? Because the books currently believe they're either going to do it or they're not. But again, Portland is still down players. They're relying on their starters. Washington's defense still sucks, right? But at home specifically, they're actually playing better at home. Only reason is because some of these teams that they face have been injury prone. Technically, Portland's one of those teams. So let's go on ahead. I'm going to go ahead and make this my very first pick, my main pick for the night. Let me grab this phone here, and I'm going to put this in. I'm going to fade the Blazers on their team total points. This is a -102 on FanDuel. Let's get it. And I'm going to post this here on my Discord, so you all can see it. So you can be like, oh, he really did it. Yes, I post my slips here, and also post them over here with the crew that I'm with at Top Sports Debate. This is my live stream. This is my section here that I do live streams every single day. NBA community parlays I normally do, specifically roughly about 30 plus minutes or whatever, depending. But I did my community parlay for the day. I'll share that with you all in a moment. Let's get this pick in. This is going to be my first main pick for the night. Let's see. This is the Way team. We're taking them under. And currently on FanDuel, again, it said that FanDuel had them going under at a -102. Now it has the Blazers at an even to the under 120. But let's go on ahead and take this here specifically. I mean, you could say even here in these last 6 games, they've gotten closer to the 120, right? But they did hit it every other spot, but they've still been mainly down. So let's go on ahead. And even in the month, if you really look at it too, you really want to break it down for the month of January, they are what? 0-1, 1-1, 1-2, 2-2, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, 6-2, 6-3, 7-3, 7-4, 8-4, 9-4. So 9-4, still a positive for them, but we're gonna go on ahead and take this under. Let's do it. We're gonna fade. We are fading. We're going with the data. We're going with our gut. Really do feel like, again, this should be a spot. That's why I say take the under on the games, because like this 233 may not get to 233. I mean 234. It may not hit 234, even though the books believe that it's going to go over. A few of the games, even last night, a lot of books believe that the games are going to go over. Did not happen. I want to say 5 out of the 7 or whatever, 6 out of the 8, whichever it was much higher. If you would have just parlayed that on the spot, you would have been straight, right? You would have cashed on a round robin slip. So just trying to give y'all the info so that y'all can make the best choices, best decisions that will benefit your pockets, even if they don't benefit my pockets. Say if I don't put the pick in, because again, if you're watching a capper, and a lot of times if you believe in that stuff, hey, the capper doesn't put the pick in. We just say like, oh, hey, we're not taking the bet, but this is what you should probably put down on the slip, and you put it down and it cashes. We didn't put it down, and if we put the pick in and it doesn't cash, that tells you something. So just putting it out there, just throwing it out there for you all, to say, hey, put the pick in, because I might not take it. Probably won't take it. Bet Blazers. Say team total under again. We'll just do that. We will do that. We'll go main pick number 1. Hey, there it is. You all see it here. I just shared it. Blazers under 119. Let's hope for the best for tonight. Hold on, give me one real quick second here. I need to make sure that the comment section is working. I forgot to do the little test comment. Is it in? We good? We good. All right, bet. It popped up. Cool. We good. Bet. We good. All right. So when it's pertaining to the actual spread and stuff like that, this is what the data says here on Moneyballer. So it's the spread is, again, the spread is what the spread is going to be. And again, this is to possibly help you make the best decision for your betting journey for the night. So Wizards, when it's pertaining to the spread, they're not covering that like hardly at all, right? They're 18 and 26 in the last 30, 40, 44 games. They are in the last 21 games, 9 and 12 at home as underdogs. In the last 41 games, they are 17 and 24. In the last 18 games as home underdogs, they're 8 and 10. So there's that information. Blazers have covered at a 27 and 19 and 1, 58, technically 59% hit rate currently. On the road, they're 12, 10 and 1, so it's a positive. But as favorites, they're even at an 8, 8 and 1. But also as away favorites, they're 4, 4 and 1. So there's that information. When it's pertaining to this specific spread, right? Denny's back, but they're down players. Washington are also down players. Trey may not play this year at all. We don't know. Bagley's out. We don't know. So key thing, real quick side note. I mentioned this during the live stream over on WAP with Top Sports Debate, the crew over there. Take Trey Johnson for his assist at home. Live bet it though. On January 16th, January 19th, I fell asleep both times. I've looked at both of these both times that he was when he was live. He had 0 assists in the first quarter. On the 16th, it was a plus 490. I didn't put it in for him to get 4 assists. I did not put it in because I fell asleep. He got the 4. And again, 2 games later, his live assists for 4. Again, he had 0 assists in the first game, in the first quarter. It was a plus 360. I didn't put it in. Why? Because I fell asleep and I woke up the next morning and seen that he had 5. And then he did this here specifically on the 24th, 3 days ago, with 6. So you would think that he'll at least possibly get 3 tonight against Portland. Kind of feel like he can still get 4, but I would live bet his assists as long as he doesn't get one, at least one by the end of the first quarter. But take this young man for 4 assists on live bets as much as possible because currently he's passing the ball up. Now, back to the spread thing. If you do decide that you feel like Portland can cover this game by 6, take it. Blazers, more importantly, have been covering better in the last 5 games. So they're 3-2 to covering, 3-2 ATS. Portland are 4-1 ATS, and they're also 3-2, but they did not cover back-to-back games. But let's look at them on the road. Excuse me. Let's look at the last 10. So on the road, in the last 10, they were on the road 3 times, and they went 1-2. So there's that. And then Washington at home in the last 10, they went 1-1, 2-1, 2-2. So they're even 2-2. It is up to you, whatever it is that you want to do. Again, Blazers are favored to cover this game by 7 or more. It is your choice. The books believe that Washington is going to cover. Who knows? Washington just might actually cover this number because they're being a little bit more positive at home in the last few games. It's just an even spot here. If you want to take even say first half, Washington, as you see per the data here, even just in the last 5 games, they've actually covered 3 of the last 5. If you feel like Washington would cover even just the 4 plus the plus 3.5, take them. Blazers haven't covered in 3 straight games in the last 5. One of those games were on the road. Even in general, when you're looking at them on the road, it's the same thing. They're 1-2 to covering. Washington at home, 2-0, 2-1, but they're 3-1 to covering in their last 4 home games. So maybe you do take Washington to cover the first half spread. The books believe that they will cover this here. Again, maybe, but let's even look to see what they're actually doing here in just the first half. So they're down a bit more than what the Blazers are doing in the first half. Blazers are still under 500 to actually winning first halves. They're 21-26, while the Wizards are 13-31. Again, if you're just looking at basing off of data wise, you're just basing it off of just home spots versus the away spots, the lean is more towards Washington because they've actually been covering more. This is just some simple stuff that I normally would look at, like, oh, Washington has covered more at home than Blazers have covered on the road. Oh, let me look at the team. Both teams are injured, right? But Blazers are more injured. Washington is a little bit less injured. Maybe I still take the Wizards to cover a +3.5 spread. Maybe they do. But then you also look at, okay, what does Outlier say with them scoring points at home? They're actually covering this spot at a 60% hit rate at home, while the Blazers are on the road. They're 3-7 to not covering in the last 10 games. Washington at home, have they scored 55 points or higher? They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games out of the last 10. Blazers, have they scored 55 points or higher on the road? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. So just one game more than what the Wizards have been doing. This is just how I kind of break down what I'm really looking at when I'm looking at the data in front of me, even on Outlier, even other extra stuff. But again, when it's pertaining to just data stuff, I would say take Washington for the +3.5, and maybe the Blazers will then cover the second half. Maybe. We'll see. Middleton's officially in now. Sarr, all of that stuff. You got George. Who knows what's really going to happen tonight? With Denny back, because he rested, he may go off for 30 points tonight. Who knows? But I'm just giving you the basis on what I would specifically do. When it's pertaining to the over-under, this is what it says. It's more of a positive as far as, let me just look at this. So it's a bit more of a positive for the Blazers when it's pertaining to the over versus Washington when it's pertaining to the under. So this is going to be possibly a little bit of an interesting spot here. So Wizards, when it's pertaining to the over-under, they are 20-21, even 9-9 as home dogs. Excuse me, I apologize. They are 20-21 as dogs, 9-9 as underdogs. But they're even 22-22 overall. At home, though, they're just above 500 to covering 11-10. And that's that information. So I kind of went a little bit backwards on accident. The Blazers, when it's pertaining to their over-under record and stuff like that, it says this. They're 20-23, just going under overall. They're 10-13 on the road. But as favorites, they're 13-4 to the over. As away favorites, they're 6-3 to the over. There's that information. So here's some key information when it's pertaining to the spread that I just talked about. Maybe you still take the Blazers on the -6. This is what it says. So the Wizards in the last 14 games, they are 6-8 to cover in the spread. Again, this is the last 14 games. 7 of those games for the Wizards at home in these last 14 games are 3-4, and 13 of these last 14 games as underdogs to cover in the spread, they're 5-8, and as home dogs in the last 6 home games, they're 2-4. Blazers, on the other hand, it's a real positive spot. They are in the last 17 games as favorites. They excuse me, I apologize. In the last 14 games, they are 10-4 to covering. In the last 6 away games, they're 4-2. In the last 5 games as favorites, they're 5-0. And in the last 2 away games, they're 2-0. So it's a big difference when it's pertaining to the spread. Again, maybe, possibly you do take the Blazers to cover per the data, but if your gut feels like you should take the Blazers to cover, take them to cover. But the main pick that we took is the Blazers to cover their points. So we'll do that and see what happens. To go under their team total points. We'll do that. All right. Blazers under. This is my main pick. Number 1. Now let's find the next one. So this is the one that I was talking about when I meant, at least if I remember correctly, it was the Sacramento Kings to score. Yeah, it was. It was from the score 106. I really do believe that they can get the 106. Zach LaVine is not playing tonight. I feel like this should be my main pick, and I'm just going to go ahead and take this, dog. Let's go ahead and do this. This is a minus. Let me see. Make sure this is the right spot. Because, again, I was talking about this. Now, Now, DraftKings and BetMGM believe that they're going to go under this number. They've been covering 8 straight games, literally 8 straight games. More so, they're averaging 110 in the last 20. They're averaging 111 on the season, and they're averaging 115 in the last 10. Now let's look at them on the road. What are they doing on the road though? They're averaging 110. It's still above the number that I want. It's still a comfortable spot. It's just that, as you see here, they've technically gone under more than anything over the last several games on the road. But in the month, they're even 2-2. They had back-to-back games here at Cleveland, at Detroit. And I kind of feel like even with New York's slow pacing, I still believe that they can still get this 106 here specifically. Just being honest. I'm just being honest here. Really, really feel comfortable with them scoring 106 points tonight. They are 2-1 to getting the 106 against New York. They are 1-0 against them on the season. They did it at home on the 14th this month. So I feel like they can do it again in the same month. So we're going to go on ahead and take the Kings to score 106 here. And I'm going to go on BetMGM because I actually have funds over there. I don't have any more funds on DraftKings. I don't want to put any more funds on Draft. I think I've done it twice. I put like $20 in total on my DraftKings, maybe a little bit more. I really don't want to put any more money over there. Really don't. So we're just going to go on ahead and look at that. This game is getting ready to start. 45 minutes. Again, we are taking the Kings to score 106. Where are you? 106 plus 100. We are putting this in. Let's do it. I don't think I want to use this no sweat on here. I don't think I want to do that. So we'll just do this. So Sacramento, we got it locked in. Sacramento, main pick, number 2. Kings, team total, over. There we go. Post it. And post it. Oh, also too, I gotta do the crew. Oops. There we go. I gotta post this over on WAP. My apologies. Just have to do this real quick. Just so that they have it. There we go. We're good. We did it. We knocked it out. We got it done. We move on to now this pick right here. Here it comes. Y'all ready? Hope y'all ready for this. Here it goes. Bang. We back. We trying this again tonight. We cashed on this 4 out of 5 days. Technically, what is it? We cashed on 4 out of 6 days. Last week, where we just did a 6-day stretch, trying to cash on a 4-leg, 10 points each. That's all you need. That's all we need. 10 points each. So we're pushing for Coulibaly, McBride, AJ Green, and my homie Isaiah Joe from my Oklahoma City Thunder to score 10 points each. Through 20 and a half to get back 170. Let's hope for the best for that slip. It's back, baby. We trying this again. Gonna see if we can make the magic happen tonight with that slip. So let's go. Let's hope for the best for that one. I can finally share this in the designated Discords and WAP and all of that now. And hopefully people will maybe possibly tail and win some funds. Because some folks did tail, some folks did win, some folks didn't, some folks missed out. You know what I mean? So we're hoping that, again, that comes through tonight. Now, let's dive into the analytical stuff for the game. Because, again, Sacramento Kings are heading to the New York Knicks. Knicks have been sometime since the more of a downtick. They've been sort of kind of recently. And that's the thing. They've been winning their games, right, since the NBA Cup, since they won. They just haven't covered, as you see. Just pertaining just to minus 14.5, they have not covered, while the Sacramento Kings have covered. They didn't cover last game, and I took them to cover against the Detroit Pistons. Why? Because the Pistons' offense was not handling business. They weren't scoring like above 120 or even sometimes even above 115 in a long time for several games. It's their defense that held them down. But in this game, they decided to wake up at home. And that's even more specifically when they played at home, their offense was down, but their defense was up. They were playing really good games on the defensive side of the court. It's just their offense really wasn't producing. So they had a random 139 against the Sacramento Kings, where even when it's pertaining to the Kings on the road were stopping teams from scoring points, their team total points and stuff like that over too. So it was like, when I looked at that, I was like, oh, this is a clear cut. Yes, let me take the Kings. Also too, yes, let me take the Kings to cover this plus 13.5 because they're covering, you know what I mean? Knicks are not at home, even more specific. Pistons are not. Let me take them. So it's pretty much the same spot. It's just a 1 point higher. It's a plus 14.5. The books believe that they're going to cover. Zach LaVine is not in. Malik Monk is officially out. Murray is still out. The question becomes, are the Kings going to go back to back to not covering a plus 13.5 or 14.5 or whatever? Or is it a spot where the Knicks specifically still keep it close, play slow on the pace side of things on the court, and keep it so close because they had that really great back and forth game. This game, I watched most of it against when they were on the road against Philly. They covered the minus 2.5 in this game. They won the game in a great spot. Now they come back home with rest 3 days, technically 2 days later, 2.5 days later. So now the question becomes, can they cover a 14.5 against the Zach LaVine-less, Malik Monk-less Sacramento Kings? That's the question. What are the Kings going to do specifically tonight? I would say for sure, because Westbrook was originally going to be on my community parlay with the crew, for my crew that I put together. I'm getting ready to talk about this in a second, because I keep saying how they were disrespecting Westbrook at home to covering his PRA, but he's had back-to-back games, and technically the last 3 games in these last 10 games were on the road, and he went under all 3 times. The question becomes, can he get now a 26.5 when 2 hours ago this was a 25.5? So the line moved up 1. Now I'm kind of questioning, does he get this? The books currently now believe he's going to get the 27 when, like I said, hour and a half ago, maybe 2 hours ago, the books believe he was going to go under the 26. So at the time when it was 25.5, I personally feel like he could still get the 25. Also, too, here's the other reason why I personally believe that Westbrook should be able to get this, and it is right here. He loves playing against the Knicks. He's 3-0 to getting this. He always hits 30, above 30 when it's pertaining to his PRAs, whether at home, whether on the road. He is 1-0 against the Knicks. So guess what I'm about to do? I'm about to take this pick, and I'm posting it here live on the stream. We're going to do this right now, because I just personally believe that, again, this is what he's done, and we can even coincide and say, okay, this is going to be a riskier bet. Why? We're looking at his away games. He actually goes under on most of his away games. But again, I'm going with the data when he plays against the Knicks. I'm taking him against the Knicks to once again hit 27 now or higher on his PRA. So we're going to do this right now. This is what gets me excited about doing this stuff, because it's not hard to look at the data and be like, okay, like you can sit here and be like, okay, Knicks play slow, Maybe take the under on the game. Maybe the Knicks still win by 15 points. Maybe. I don't really trust. I still don't trust the Knicks to cover tonight. I really, really don't. Let me look and see what else. So Knicks are full, and that's the thing. Knicks are at full strength. So, but again, I still personally I don't trust them to cover this 14 and a half. But maybe they do because it's sports. You just never know. You never know what's going to happen. Knicks might actually start running around. You know what I mean? Fast pacing it tonight on some random stuff because it'd be random nights where teams and players decide they want to go off and do stuff. But I'm taking Go Brook for the what's it called? Let me see. Okay, now I can get it back. I can actually get it back at the 25 and a half. But this is going to be over on FanDuel, so I will gladly take. I could go for the 26 and a half. It's a better line number, but I'll gladly take it at 25 and a half since Outlier on my phone is showing it at 25 and a half, even though it's showing it here on my laptop or on my monitor at 26 and a half. I will gladly take this at 25 and a half because, like I said, that was the original number. So, because like I literally popped up Outlier on my phone, and it's sitting at 25 and a half again. It didn't budge on my phone. So it's a minus 122 on FanDuel. I am taking this right now. I got it. I locked it in. So we're just going to go on ahead and post this in the Discord live here on the stream. Because as you're seeing, I take player props. Like I will take player props. I'll do this stuff live on stream. But my main focuses are spreads, first half spreads, team totals, over, under. You know what I mean? I'm trusting the teams more to handle business versus trusting the players more, because I feel like the players will let you down a lot. I really, really do. And a lot of times they really, really do. Westbrook, PRA over. And there we go. There it is. Westbrook, Go Brook, over 25 and a half. Like I said, when I popped on Outlier on my phone, it was sitting at 25 and a half, even though it's saying 26 and a half here on my basically on my laptop and my monitor. But I'll take the original line where it was at. Westbrook, PRA over. Just sharing this on the other Discords that I'm in. Whoops, I didn't mean to share too quickly. And over on WAP. Join us, guys, over on WAP. Find Top Sports Debate. Or, you know what, let me share. Do this again. Join us over on WAP. Let me make sure I got the link here. Make sure it didn't disappear on me. Looks like it did, baby. Looks like it did. Don't give me 1 second. Let me go grab a new, fresh link for y'all. There we go. Grab the link. Here we go. Click that link, son. Click that thing. Click it. Join us. There's a free section. There's also a paid section, whichever one you want to do. This is my homie Lando's group. I'm just a analytical capper for the squad over at Top Sports Debate. So come join us. So the first game's getting ready to start too. All right. So this is all right. Now that's enough of my rambling. Let's dive into the spread, the total. Because again, if you want to take the Kings, which I really do feel like the Kings can still cover the 15, take them. It just depends on what this game is going to do. Knicks just won a close game against the 76ers without Embiid, without Paul George. Honestly, without that, you would think that the Knicks would have won by, say, 10 plus points. Yeah. Even with them on the road. Yeah. No. They still don't even play well on the road either. So, yeah. So there's that. Spread wise stuff. This is the information. Knicks are 50% even, 23 and 23 in the last 46 games to covering, but at home they're 15 and 8 to covering the spread. They're 21 and 19 as favorites, as home favorites, 14 and 8. The Kings are on a downtick though, 18 and 29, just covering overall. 8 and 14 on the road, and then as dogs 16 and 27, and as away dogs 8 and 14. Again, per the data in front of me, you consider and say, yeah, take the Knicks, yeah, because the data says, this information. Again, it's the Knicks, dog. We know what the Knicks do and don't do. And we do know what the Kings do and don't do. I would rather take the chance on the Kings on the bounce back to actually cover this 14 and a half, this 15 points. Just being honest on my end. Now, when it's pertaining to the actual total, it's 225 and a half. It's 226, right? The Kings, as you see here, they've gone under in 6 straight games. The Knicks have gone under in 4 straight games. Technically, it's like 50-50 for whichever, but this is what it says. Because remember, we're talking about January compared to the entire season. The month of January, unders are hitting at a higher percentage rate. Knicks, when it's pertaining to the actual over under, this is what it says. They're even 20 and 20 in the last 40 games. They're even 11 and 11 at home as favorites. Excuse me, I apologize. They're 24 and 22 overall, and they're 12 and 11 at home, but 20 and 20 as favorites, and then 11 and 11 as home favorites to going over or under. So it's like a slight lean to the over, but in the spot, they're even 11-11 at home as favorites. Kings specifically to the over under, they're 23 and 24. Slight lean to the over, 12 and 10 on the road. But as dogs, 20 and 23, more so to the under. And then as away dogs, 12 and 10 to the over. There's that information. Now, we can break this down a little bit more because this is what it says for the Knicks when it's pertaining to the total under in the last 14 games, over under. They're 6 and 8 in the last 14 games, 2 and 4 at home, and then 4 and 8 as favorites, and then 2 and 4 as well at home as favorites. So the under has been hitting more recently for them in the last 14 games. But this is what it says for the Kings. The Kings in the last 14 games are 8 and 6, more so to the over. They're 4 and 0 on the road in the last 4 more recent games. So they're going over, and a little bit over as dogs, 7 and 6. But then they're also 4 and 0 on the road as underdogs. So do with this information what you will. Do you feel like that this game could possibly still go under? Take the under. If you feel like it'll go over, take the over. Again, my main pick is for the Kings to score 106. I personally believe that they can do that, and I feel like that they will. We'll see what happens. The slip is either going to cash or it won't. Let's move on to the Bucks and the Philadelphia 76ers. Again, the one game is getting ready to start, and that's okay. Eventually, I'm going to get to the game, and I'm going to watch some of it tonight before I go to sleep. 76ers are at home. They're hosting. They're back at home again, hosting against the Milwaukee Bucks. Again, Giannis is not playing. Who else? Kevin Porter is out. He's been out for a few now. Taurean Prince, who knows when he's coming back. He had next year. I kind of feel like he's probably done for the year. Philly. Joel Embiid is questionable as of 6 hours ago. Paul George is in now. Kind of feel like Embiid might play, maybe because why he didn't play in the last game. He does not play back-to-backs. So you figure Paul George is going to play tonight. If they were to play tomorrow, he wouldn't play tomorrow. And again, if Embiid plays tonight and they play tomorrow, they're both not going to play tomorrow. So the question becomes, is Embiid going to play tonight? We'll see what happens. If Embiid is in, let's look at Philly's team total points. They got them sitting currently at a 116. As you see, they haven't hit 116 in most of the last 10 games except for one spot. What was that game? They hit 128 against Houston. That was Houston. A really good defensive-minded squad. But what can you do? But outside of that, even against Charlotte, I can understand them going under against the Knicks because of their slow pace. Phoenix stopped them. Indiana plays really good defense. They stopped them. Cavs, it's the Cavs. You're either going to score your points or you're not, right? They went back to back and they went under. So what can you do? Toronto, same thing. Their defense, sometimey when it's pertaining to them, sometimey. And then Orlando, yeah, what can you do? So they've been going under most of January. Milwaukee on the road. More importantly, on the road. What are they doing? They are, if you decide to fade Philly on their team total points to take them under the 116, this is what you would do with the spot. They're 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 3-3. So it's an even 3-3 in the last 6 road games for Milwaukee. Do you trust Philly to score 116? The books believe that they're going to do it. The Milwaukee Bucks allow the 116 at the number. So this is just like a risky bet. If it was like 110, 112, then yeah, you'd be like, oh, well, maybe take the under type of stuff. But if you're believing that Philly just might just barely once again hit like 115 like they did with the Cavs here or Toronto back to back, take the under. But if you feel like that they're going to hit the 116, take the over, because Milwaukee's defense, Giannis is not out there. Paul is in, so that's an extra roughly 15 points on the court. If Embiid is in, I would say take the 116. If you feel like Embiid is going to play, I would say take this number now before they say that he's going to play within the next, 30, 40 minutes. Because then guess what? This number is going to bump up to maybe a 117, 118. So I would highly recommend that you take the number if you feel like the 76ers are actually going to score the 116. And if we can even break it down just a little bit extra, there were 3 games more recently in the last several games that the 76ers and Milwaukee Bucks have faced off against each other. Here's an interesting spot. Maybe you take the under. Here's why. In those 3 games, 76ers, 3 things happened. So 2 things happened, 76ers went under their team total points. And again, this is them at home against Milwaukee. And Milwaukee beat them all 3 times. February 25th of 2024, Milwaukee won 119 to 98. October 23rd of October 23rd, 2024, Milwaukee won 124 to 109. And then on April 3rd of 2025, last year, Milwaukee won 126 to 113. Again, this was them on the road all 3 times against the Philadelphia 76ers. Did Embiid play in all of those games? We don't really know. We'd have to look that information up. But the one thing, the key note is that Philly went under their team total points. Milwaukee went over their team total points. But since Giannis is not in this game, do you take Philly to score 116 or do you fade? Do you fade Milwaukee to go under 105? Again, Milwaukee has scored above this against Philly every single time. Well above. But again, more than likely, possibly, Giannis was playing in those games. Maybe Embiid played in 1 or 2 of those games. Do with this information what you will. But in the last several games, they've actually gone under their total here specifically, right? They did it, 4 times in the last 5, 3 times in the last 5. But this is what they've done head-to-head. Look at this. This is what they've done head-to-head against Philly. Like I said, here's the spots here where they scored a specific amount of points. They only went under, and that was this year, scoring only 101 on December 5th at home. But that was that day. Do they score 105 tonight? Questions. We will see. We shall see. But I had to give you that data for that specific spot. Let's look at the actual spread stuff. It's a plus 9.5. What did it open up before Giannis was ruled out? It was 9. So it actually dipped up to 10.5. So that's that information. Nothing, no other rule changes. It's just 9.5, 10. Top of stuff 9. Okay. All right. So Milwaukee has covered more than what Philly has done. Philly has not covered a minus 9.5 in 7 straight games. Fascinating. Again, Milwaukee has their number, right? They've beaten them 3 times. They've scored above 150, 10, 106, 105, 3 straight games against Philly. But this is what it says for Philly in the cover: 25 and 19 and 1 to covering the spread, 11 and 14 to covering at home. But they are 15 and 9 as favorites. But then at home as favorites, though, they're 6 and 7. Interesting spot. So they're on a positive as favorites, but when it's pertaining to them at home, they suck more so. So this is letting you know, as favorites more so on the road, they're doing their job. But at home, Philly has not been doing their job. It's just one of those conundrums that you really just look back and you're like, yo, like y'all should be balling out. Y'all should be blowing teams out. Y'all should be doing X, Y, and Z when you're at home. But you have to consider Embiid and Paul George are not playing in back-to-backs. That's the reason why they're not covering numbers. Just one of the main reasons why. Because they're top, the former MVP, the player that went to the NBA Finals one time with the Pacers and really just bounced around the league and has been a shell of what he used to be. There's just reasons why this team has not been doing well at home, but they have more of a, I don't know, maybe they just have more of a confidence on the road. But we'll see what they do tonight. Maybe they blow out the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. Maybe they win by 10 points or higher. We'll see. The Milwaukee Bucks, when it's pertaining to the cover and the spread, they're 19 and 26. On the road, they're 11 and 12. So they're just below 500. They're even 12 and 12 as dogs, 8 and 6 as away dogs for the actual spread there. So there's that information. And then the over-under stuff, this is what it says. Philly are 23 and 21 and 1, so they're just above 500 to actually covering the over. They're 13 and 11 at home. They're 11 and 12 and 1 as favorites, and then an even 6 and 1 at home as favorites. Milwaukee 17 and 28 to covering, so their games are going under. 7 and 16 to the under on the road. 9 and 15 as underdogs, and then as away underdogs 4 and 10. Again, the question becomes: do you fade Milwaukee Bucks tonight because Giannis is not out there, Kevin Porter's not out there, blah blah blah? Do you fade this team? Philly again has allowed so many teams to score X amount of points against them at Philly, right? What do you really decide to do? Let's look at Philly. I meant to mention to look at them. Let's see. Let's look at what Philly's doing. Actually, no. I apologize. I'm looking at this wrong. So Philly, let's look at them. Let's look at them at home. Let's see if they're stopping teams from scoring 105. Let's look at this at home. Let's say you decide to take Milwaukee for the 105. 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, 7-1. 7-1 in the last 8 home games. Philly has allowed their opponent to score the 105 points. Again, Milwaukee more recently have been going under, but in the head-to-head, they've mostly gone over. I would highly suggest that you at least take this spot. I feel like it's more of an easier spot to take. Take Milwaukee to score 105 points. Just put it in. Philly's just not stopping teams at all, like really at all. It's just again, Milwaukee specifically, they've been kind of struggling more recently to scoring, but they're at least getting over 100. It's just that they're just a few points off. It's just a few points, right? Let's look at them on the road. They're still, again, even on the road in the last 10, they've only gone under 3 times. I would say take them for the 105. It's either they're going to get it or not, but at least they're hitting 100 on the road. Take it. I would say take it. I'm probably going to take it. I probably am going to just put that slip in and just hope for the best for the game for them. So what the heck? What was that? Whoops. Okay. That was strange. All right. How's it doing it? It's weird. So now, my Oklahoma City Thunder, we are facing off against the Pelicans at home. I don't know if we're gonna. I don't know if I could trust my Thunder to cover a plus 14, just like a plus 15, just like I don't feel like I could see the Knicks covering their plus 15. Let's look to see what's going on. So Portland currently is they're close. They're down by 2. Washington has 18 points. They have 16. So they're currently, kind of handling business. Denny has 6 points and four rebounds. He's hit 2 threes for Washington. Again, we need Koulibaly to score 10 points tonight. Whoa. Let me do this live. Let me see if I can catch this. Let's see if your boy gets this. Now, the last live that I did with Johnson for the Wizards, I took him down for 4 assists, plus money, plus value. He finished with 3. Let's see where his assist line is currently for 4. Let's see. It's a plus 360. Let's take this right now. Let me see what am I getting back here. Yeah, I don't mind. I'm just putting this on now before this number. All right, it pushed up 10, so we're just gonna do that. Because like I said, I'm saying screw it. I'm gonna see if I can catch some wins with just this kid getting 4. I just need 4. That's it. Just give me 4 assists on a live pick. Catching this right now. Let's see if this will work out here. Let's see. Bet. All right. Trey Johnson assists. Well, 4. Let's just say 4 assists live. We'll do that. Trey Johnson 4 assists live. Bang. I just posted it. I just threw a quick 5 on there to get back 23 and some change. All right. Let's go. Let's see if he gets it. Again, it's a plus 360. Last time it was a plus 360. I missed it. The hope is that I can catch it tonight. I'm posting this over on WAP. Whoops. Let me do that. So let's see. Okay. Now. Let's see, dog. Even more so, Moneyballer has my Thunder covering the spread at a 57% currently against this Pelicans squad. Let's see. So my Thunder, again, it's 14.5. Over under is 233.5 as again on the back-to-back spot here. So my Thunder, we were doing so well in the beginning of the season, but then injuries started happening, and now we just been like down, right? So my Thunder are currently 23 and 24, just below 500 covering the spread. 12 and 13 at home, so we're struggling to cover at home. 23 and 24 as favorites to try to cover, and then 12 and 13 at home as favorites. That's us. This is what we do. So this is what the Pelicans do, which still doesn't look too well for them as well to covering the spread. So they're 24, 23, and 1, just above 500 to covering the spread. They're even 11-11 on the road. They're 20 and 23 and 1 to covering as underdogs, and then 10 and 11 as away dogs. So there's that information. We just break it down even more to the actual spread stuff in the last 14 games. This is what it says for my Thunder. We are what are we? Where is it at? We're 6-8 to covering in the last 14 games, 2-5 at home in the last 7 games, 6-8 as favorites to covering, and then 2-5 once again at home as favorites. That's us. Pelicans, when it's pertaining to them in the last 14 games to cover, 5-9, right? They're 4-5, just below 500 to covering on the road. But then they're 3-9 as underdogs, and then 3-5 as away dogs to covering the number. What can you really do? Let's look at the actual matchup. We've played and hosted the Pelicans 2, 4, 5 times, right? So this is what it looks like for us against the Pelicans. And when you even more consider the actual 14 plus 14 and a half, the 15 points. So we played in 2023 2 times against the Pelicans, both in April 21st of 2024. My Thunder beat the Pelicans 94-92, so that means that the Pelicans covered that 14 and a half. 3 days later, my Thunder played against the Pelicans and won 124 to 92. We covered the plus 14 and a half, so now we're 1-1, right? But then my Thunder beat the Pelicans on November 13th of 2024. We beat them 106 to 88, and we covered that specific 14. So now we're 2-1, and then we covered again on February 10th of 2025, 137 to 101. Covered that day, and then we covered again on November 2nd of last year, 137 to 106. Again, these were all at home, hosting the Pelicans. So we've covered in 4 of the games. So we're 4-1 to covering a plus 14 and a half. Now I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable of us possibly covering this number tonight. But again, it just depends, because again, we're talking about my Thunder, who are what? We have a lineup. J-Dub is not in. Hartenstein is not in. Mitchell is not in. Cason Wallace is out. Caruso's out. For the Pelicans, only DeJounte Murray's out. They pretty much are full strength. Herbert Jones is back tonight. He is a key factor in their defense. This is why I'm saying that even though the data is saying pinpoint the Pelicans, this spot here with us at home specifically, we're actually beating the Pelicans specifically. We covered 4 of the last 5 meetings against them at home. But with Herbert on the court, that there's extra defense on the court. The question becomes, can we actually cover? Because we've only covered 4 of the last 10, while the Pelicans have covered 9 of the last 10. So 9 straight games. Can we actually cover a 14 and a half? This is the spot where we could possibly still do that, but it just depends. It really, really just depends on what's going to really happen tonight. So do with that information what you will. Let's look at the over-under real quick for the game. This is what it says. My Thunder are 24-23 to the over-under, 13-12 at home, 24-23 as favorites, and then at home as favorites, 13-12. So we're just barely getting over, right? Like just barely. We're just above 500. While the Pelicans, what is pertaining to their record, they're 25-23, just above 500. But on the road, they're 10-12. And then as dogs, though, they're 24-20. And then they're 10-11 as away dogs. So it's pretty much like an even spot, just how the books have they believe it's going to go over or under or whatever. Do with it what you will. Again, more of a lean would be more of a spread. Maybe first half, maybe my Thunder actually cover and win by 9 points in the first half. Maybe. I don't really know. Because we are down players. We have been struggling at home more recently. It's up to you what you want to do. Me, I'd rather just see what happens. If I felt, I really felt like, again, I could just go with just basis off of what the last 5 matchups are. We have the Pelicans number when it's pertaining to a 14 and a half spread alone, where we've covered. Do with that information what you will. So, oh King, I missed your. I apologize. I missed your spot. If you're still here, let me because you just popped in. Maybe you did pop in. You talked about Duncan Robinson, Kelly Robinson. Let's see. You're talking about him for 11 points. Books believe he's going to get the 11 automatically. He's been getting 11. Technically, he's been getting 15 or higher. So if you even want to take him for a plus money for 15, it's a plus 285. Let's look at him in the head-to-head though. 1-1 against Denver. But this was when he was playing for Miami, so he might actually get the actual 11 tonight. Against the positioner allowing 23, still a great spot. Again, you need 11, right? So Middleton was just a bucket off. LeBron got it. Knuppel got it. Miles Bridges didn't because they shut him down here. I remember this game. Miller got it at 23. Miller had a big night. What was it, 2 nights ago? He had like 30 plus points. Justin Champagnie came through for me on that one slip that I put in yesterday. He had was it yesterday or the day before? He had 11. I needed 15 from him, and something told me to ladder him up. Like I had him down for 11. Something told me to ladder him up like 1 or 2 more times at plus value, and I didn't do it. I just took him at a straight 15. So he finished with 13. So I would have won 2 more times on just laddering him up twice, 2 more times. So I missed out. He was a bucket off from getting the 15 though. I really felt like he was going to get 15 points that in that game. He was right there. Middleton had 6. Middleton is 1-1. And then and then Clay, he was just like a 3 away, just a 3-pointer away. I really do feel like Duncan can get it tonight. Just being honest, I feel like he can get 15 for overall. So I would take Duncan for 15 points. I would take him for the 11, and I would probably ladder him up. It's a plus 120 here, plus 168 here for 13. I'll probably ladder him up. I probably will take that. Probably do a Duncan Robinson. I like it. If you're still here, you hear this information. I like it a lot. All right. So that's that. Let's move on to Pistons. Excuse me. Pistons and Denver. Now, I have Valanciunas going under. I forgot to show this. My apologies. I forgot to show this because I was too much going on and on and on. This is the community parlay. No, it's not. That's not community parlay. That's not it. Where's the community parlay? Where in the hell is it? Is it here? Here it is. This is the community parlay that I put together on the live stream over here on. Well, again, I put this here. This is from 3 hours ago that I did that. Right. So the community parlay is for Kamara to get 21, for Miles McBride to get 16. Again, these are PRAs. This is for them to go over. And then we're fading Valanciunas under 26 PRA. That's the community parlay there. Okay? There's that. So spread is 7.5. The over-under total is 215.5. Right? This is what it says here. Nuggets are 28-19. They're actually covering. They are covering. Look at them covering, right? So they are covering. And oh, word. He just sent this too. Word. All right. So they're covering. But they are at home. They're 10-10 even. And then as underdogs, though, they're covering at 11-5. Look at that, right? Again, this is do you consider Denver to cover tonight with Murray back, with Watson, Valanciunas versus this very defensive-minded Pistons team? do you consider taking? Because Karis LeVert's the only one out. And then for Denver, let's see. Nobody of significance has been ruled. Well, Aaron Gordon was ruled out yesterday. And then Christian Braun. So there's that. Cameron Johnson too. So do you take Detroit with these specific players that either come off the bench or sometimes start? Do you take them to cover this plus 7.5 with them looking really good as underdogs at an 11.5 spot? But they are under 500 to covering at home as underdogs. They're only 3-7. So what do you really consider doing with that specific spread? When it pertains to the Pistons, this is what it says for them to cover: 24-20. They are at 11-9, just above 500 to covering on the road, but then they're 17-19 to covering as favorites. Okay, so there's that information. In the last 14 games, though, this is what it says. It's still looking a little bit more positive, just a little bit for the Nuggets. In the last 14 games, they're 9-5 to covering the spread. But at home, they're 1-4 in the last 5 home games. But as underdogs, they're 7-3 to covering the spread. But then at home, they're 1-3 as underdogs. So there's that. Do you consider to take Denver to cover this plus 7.5? Maybe you do. Who knows? But then this is what it says for the Pistons to cover in the last 14 games. They're even 7-7. They're above 500 to covering, 3-2 on the road. But then they're 5-7 as favorites. But then they're also an even 2-2 to covering as away favorites. Personally, just reading that information, kind of feeling like they possibly could cover this 8. Maybe. It just depends, because they really don't have a defense compared to Detroit. A bench compared to Detroit that actually has a bench. So maybe they do still cover the plus 7.5, but maybe Detroit actually wins by 8 points tonight. They did technically do it in the last game against the Kings, right? But again, oh man, I'm just tired. I apologize. So there's that. But then they're on the road. They're 4-6 to covering a minus 7.5, while Detroit are 6-4 to covering a plus 7.5. Not Detroit, Denver are covering a plus 7.5. So it's really, truly, honestly, guys, it's really up to you what you all want to do with the spread. I'm leaning towards, Detroit probably more than likely, because of, again, what I mentioned. They have the bench that Denver does not. That's the question. What do they do without Gordon out there, without Christian Braun? You know what I mean? What do they really do? They only have but so much that they can work with. Detroit is pretty much practically healthy. So it's up to y'all what y'all want to do with that. Take it with what you will. Pertaining to the over-under, again, Detroit did have that big game. They did go over. They scored. They combined for 255 at home against Sacramento. Let's look at them on the road. They're actually covering to the under more in the last 10 games on the road. They are, let me see, hold on, because sometimes it doesn't actually show it. So in the month of, all right, so 1-0. So 2 of the games all month they went over, right? But they've been going under at home. So 2 of the games on the road for the month of January, they've actually gone over. Denver at home, this is what they're doing in the last month, just in the month of January. They are 0-2, 1-3, 2-3. So they're just below 500 at home to covering a total over. But the key thing to note is that if you really look at the actual spot, well, hold on, let me see. No, never mind. I apologize. That's what I'm saying. I'm like super tired. I'm starting to yawn. Because just work had been kicking my butt. So I think like my body's like winding down on me. Plus I'm old, so I'll be going to bed early. Sometimes I'm going to sleep at 6, and I'll wake up at 8:30, be up for like a half hour, I'll go right back to sleep. All right, bet. So do with this information what you will. Maybe this still goes over. Maybe we'll see. With that, we'll see. But I would again, per what I'm saying, I kind of feel like Detroit can cover the 8 points tonight. Maybe they do that tonight. Look at Portland. They're winning 38-31. Congrats to y'all. Right? Let me see. Let's see. Trey Johnson doesn't have an assist yet. Let's see. Okay, I need Kamara to kind of wake up. He has 5 PRA right now. I need him to get, basically, what is it, 17 more? It will be good. 18, something like that. But then he's back. He has 9 points, 4 rebounds, 2 threes, no assists, no defense. That's that. Alex Sarga has 8 points, two rebounds, 2 blocks. Nice. And an assist. Nice. So I need Koulibaly to wake up. Dag, I should have taken Middleton for the 10 points, but he was questionable because I didn't want to put him on that slip and he didn't play. So I considered it, but I was like, oh, he's questionable. I'm not going to put him on the slip because maybe he doesn't play. Maybe he does play and doesn't get the 10. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe he's on minutes restriction. I don't know. So, all right, bet. Brooklyn, Phoenix. I think I am kind of like super duper tired. So I think I'm going to just do this last one. I'm not really even going to. I would maybe say consider, maybe taking, maybe. Let me see. Kawhi's Q tagged. I don't trust it now. If he's in, then you would probably take him for the team total points 122. Because again, it's Utah. They still allow so many teams to score so many points. But for the Brooklyn game, I would say possibly fade their team total points. Clowney's not in. Let me see. Clowney's not in. Highsmith's still out. Martin's still out. Phoenix. Oh, I didn't know Devin was out too. Sheesh, son. And Gillespie's out. So maybe you take sheesh. Damn it. Hold on. What was the actual total before? So it'll open up at 213. Let's look at this here. So currently, they actually that's got Brooklyn going under 101. But I don't know if Philly can. Again, they've only gone under twice. They've pretty much kind of been actually doing better most of the last 10. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7 out of these last 20 they went under. I don't know. This was last year. They got this, but this was more than likely with Clowney out there with or something. And this was at home. Again, they scored 89 on the 25th. That was at home. Let's look at them on the road. 102. It's above the 101. They've gone more over than under. Phoenix at home. What are they doing? Let's see. 1-0. Let's see. 1-1 because Washington, they stopped Washington from scoring. 2-1. 3-1. So 3-1 in the last 4. They've allowed a team to score 100 or more. I don't know, guys. I really don't know. I'll just say Maybe you take them on the 100. Maybe they actually get it tonight. They've had back-to-back games. They haven't had a spot where they went 3 straight, even just in the last 20, even on the season. More specifically, again, this is them on the road. They have not had 3 straight games where they have not scored 100 points. I would say take them for the 100 to the. Oh, this is to the under. See, I'm so tired. But they still haven't had 3 straight games to going under. So I would still say more than likely take them for the 101, because you just never know. You never know what's going to happen. Plus Phoenix has allowed, you know what I mean, three teams on over the last 4 to actually get 100 points or higher against them at Phoenix. What can you do? I would say that's my analysis. I'm tired. I'm gonna go on ahead and lay down, pretty much conk out. I'll put this game on, one of these games, watch what I can watch, and I'm gonna fall asleep, and then I'll be back tomorrow with a rested body. But I'm gonna enjoy my day off tomorrow. But with that, thanks for coming through, King, and everybody else that watched. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hope it was fun. Hope I was entertaining for you all. But y'all stay safe, stay humble, and I will be back tomorrow for Wednesday's games. We'll see what happens. With that, I'll holler at you later, guys. Peace.